Hello, everyone. Dr. Fred Childs here, your host at biblicalkingdom.com. And welcome to lesson number 52 in this extensive series called Understanding the Kingdom of God. It's my pleasure to come to you again, share with you things that God and others have shared with me. And I really am appreciating the fact that you're a part of this journey with me. I've gotten many reports from many people that it's changing their lives and their ministries. And I give God praise for that because our goal is to impact the kingdom of God by helping others understand the kingdom of God. And if you understand the kingdom of God, then you can implement it and live it and at least share it with others. You know, there's a saying, you are what you eat. And that's true. That's a true saying. But it's similar in your relationship with God. If someone stands in a pulpit and claims to be a kingdom man, claims to tell others that they understand the kingdom, that mentions the kingdom of God every now and then in their messages, well, if they are a kingdom man, then their messages will reflect revelations of the kingdom of God. If their topics are not consistently deeper things and things of the kingdom and giving people understanding, then it might be questioned whether they are or not a kingdom man. Because if they're not a kingdom man, other topics and sermonettes and catchy titles and such will fill their pulpit time and become their focus. If someone has an understanding of the kingdom of God, a true understanding will become a passion. And if it's a passion that they have, then they are going to want to share it with others because that's the way the kingdom is. Remember this, the kingdom is like a tiny seed. And once planted, it grows. And once God really and truly puts a seed of the kingdom inside your understanding, if you allow it to, it's going to grow. And you're going to be able to share things with others that come as a result of that growth. If you ever wanted to be a religious man like Jesus, quit trying. The title of this lesson is Jesus Was Not a Religious Man, because Jesus Christ was never religious. He was not a religious man. Jesus was a kingdom man. Big difference. Because the kingdom is not a religious kingdom. Jesus was never a religious man like Saul was prior to his conversion when he became known as the Apostle Paul. Paul referred to his pre-kingdom religious status when he said of himself in Acts 26:5. Paul said, after the most straitest sect of our religion, I lived a Pharisee. Anything that keeps you out of the kingdom of God is anti-God or antichrist. Teaching and preaching must open the kingdom of God to people so they might possess it. The gospel is not merely a salvation experience or message. The kingdom message includes the salvation experience, but also moves toward the things of the kingdom that are made available to the born again children of God. We enter his kingdom through the new birth. We begin to possess his kingdom through exploration and acquisition. Jesus never joined a religious group. He never became a part of the Sanhedrin Council. Jesus was never a Pharisee, a Sadducee, or any other. When they arrested him, they brought him before the Sanhedrin Council for questioning. And when they brought him before that council, Jesus never answered them a word, not one single word. Why? He remained silent because he was a kingdom man. And these religious leaders did not understand the kingdom. So he was not a religious man, but the Sanhedrin was a religious council. He had nothing to discuss or debate with religious hypocrites. There's a great lesson in that. We should be the same today. Do you know when Jesus first spoke his first words to his accusers? He spoke when he went before Pilate. Wow, Pilate. Why? See, Pilate was a pagan. He was a Roman. He was not a one God monotheistic Jew like the religious men were that were persecuting Jesus. Pilate was a kingdom man. He spoke to Pilate because Pilate was also a kingdom man and not a religious man. Now, their kingdoms were very different. Pilate was of the kingdom of Rome, and Jesus, of course, spoke of the kingdom of God. But Jesus could connect with a kingdom man because both represented kingdoms, and therefore they had certain concepts and understandings that they could agree upon. Jesus would not answer the Sanhedrin because it represented a religious courtroom. They challenged him based on their religious principles and their religious motives. But Jesus was a king, not a priest, or not merely a priest. He was the least interested in their twisted religious principles and motives. He simply ignored their foolish questions and predetermined, unalterable agenda. Jesus didn't want to have anything to do with them. All they wanted to do was get rid of him. So the religious leaders brought him and accused him before Pilate. And he went before a kingdom authority, Pilate, and Jesus was willing to talk. Pretty interesting there. Jesus was asked by Pilate, "Are you a king?" Jesus connected with this question and realized, I can speak now. He responded, "Not only am I a king, but for this reason I was born." Jesus then said, "My kingdom is not come from the earth. It came to the earth, but not from the earth, excuse me." In other words, he told Pilate he was a king of a kingdom that is no threat whatsoever to Pilate's kingdom. He also was stating that his kingdom was above this earth's kingdom and that earthly kingdoms have no authority over him unless he allows it. That, of course, is a loose paraphrase, but the exact wording is found in John 18 and verse 37. Let's read it. Pilate therefore said unto him, "Art thou a king?" Jesus answered, "Thou sayest that I am a king. To this end I was born, and for this cause came I into the world, that I should bear witness unto the truth. Everyone that is of the truth heareth my voice." Wow, that's powerful. In concluding this brief lesson, as you advance in your knowledge of the kingdom of God, invest in spreading kingdom understanding to others, and not so much in debating or contending with other religious people, because that normally doesn't lead anywhere except to contention. In our next lesson, we're going to address the fact that Jesus was born a king. This was a fairly short lesson, but it's a powerful lesson. If you can just remember one part of the lesson, Jesus was not a religious man. And if Jesus was not a religious man, then you should not be a religious person either, because religion is a counterfeit. Religion is not what the kingdom of God is about. The kingdom of God is about faith. It is about relationship with God. It's about worship unto God. It's all about God. And God shares his benefits with his people. I'm Dr. Fred Childs, biblicalkingdom.com. We're listener supported. Please consider donating to us, whether large or small. And if consistency is a possibility, become a sponsor of biblicalkingdom.com. We really want to reach the world with this gospel, and you can become a partner with us. Our next lesson, which will be actually lesson number 53, is about Jesus once again. And the title of it will be Jesus Was Born a King. You're going to enjoy the lesson. God bless you, and we'll see you in the next one.